Okay, welcome to Eric Fixes Stuff. So this is my wife's car. It's an E92 BMW chassis. This also applies to E90s. It's a taillight leak. No, we're not doing body work here. It's something I'd love to learn, but not today. Now, it was leaking, and it was causing this amplifier right here to fail, making a bunch of funny noises. And when I took the little panel off right here, you can kind of peer in down. I saw standing water and was like, oh no. Hit Google. Turns out that it might be hard to see, but there's going to be a stain on the metal right there. You can sort of see it, and that's coming down off that top hole, and that's where it leaked down into there. Now, there are a couple drain plugs down there, which are, of course, plugged from the factory. They drain right onto the muffler. What I did is I drilled 3 holes in each of them, and immediately the water all drained out. Took a minute, but there it went. So there's holes there now. I'm going to leave them there. I'm okay with that because I don't want to have to replace this amplifier again, and those 3 holes aren't going to let much carbon monoxide into this car, if any at all. So anyway, and that seat's normally up, so we're good. Now, how do you do it? It's easy. There's 2 Phillips screws, one there and one there on this plastic panel, and then there's 4 plastic rivets that pop off. Take the centers out first before you try to take the entire rivet out, please. That'll save you some time and some broken rivets. Now, once that comes out, this lifts out, but you'll pull the center panel out first. And then you go to the side, and I think it's 4 or 5 plastic rivets, and then 1 Torx bolt up there at the luggage strap tie down. So once you have that out, then you're faced with the lights here. It is 3 8mm nuts with captured washers, which makes it real easy. But do worry on this side here, because if this back one here, if you're spinning it real quick, it might drop behind this piece of metal and you got to fish it out. I don't think it's going to go out too far, but it happened to me, and I just had to use 2 hands to get back there and get it. If not, it drops way down next to the battery, and you can't really get your hand down there too well. So that's a pro tip. Now, once you got the lights out, one of my gaskets the old one came off real easily. The other one didn't, and somebody had told me use Goo Gone, and I blindly said, okay, cool. That's what the write-up said. Now, I wouldn't do that, and so that's my justification for making my own video, is because once Goo Gone gets on stuff, it gets in stuff. So there's still, pieces of foam in there that have Goo Gone in them. So I used brake clean on a rag, and I was wiping it all up, and what I should have done is taken a heat gun and heated the gasket up a bit to allow it to remove more cleanly, but I was trying to bonehead it, and there we go. So that's another tip. You definitely want to not use Goo Gone if you don't have to. Try to use heat to take the gasket out, and make sure everything's nice and clean before the new ones go on. Now, when the new ones go in, you don't want to put them into dirty light sockets, because that's going to cause the exact same thing that happened in the first place. The reason that this gasket failed, and the reason that every gasket fails, is because something abrasive got on it and it wore a hole or a score in it or a big scratch. Now, that's the same with engine oil or power steering fluid, brake fluid, it doesn't matter. Especially power steering fluid, that's why you get leaks, is because it's super high pressure. Now, with this gasket here, it's not high pressure, but it's just simple foam. There's nothing strong about it. So this dirt from being outside, which, yeah, I know I should keep better care of this car, but it does live outside under trees. When that gets down into the gasket area, this whole light assembly kind of jiggles a little bit, ever so slightly, as it goes down the road. I'm sure of it. That's what has to happen, because that's how these gaskets wear out. So keep your car clean, make sure your trunk jams are clean, and change your fluids in your vehicle, and you won't have gaskets that go bad like this. So this isn't hard, but it's also easy to catch before it ruins something. Just take a little panel off the back there and peer and see if you've got a line going down from that hole. And if you do, you should take the time to order the part and to even just do one side, because I don't think that side is as bad. At least it wasn't on my car. But if you can afford it, do both sides, and it's going to save you from having to buy an amplifier. They're like $80 on eBay, so it's just money that I would rather not have to spend. But here we are. It's not so bad, and that's a great way to spend an afternoon if you got nothing else going on, I suppose. So be handy, fix stuff.